Today, I'm reviewing the Open Audio Studio Siren. This is a hybrid triple driver IEM. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. Now, that is the lovely looking box for the Siren, and it is a really nice box. The price of the Siren here is $249 US. We've got one dynamic driver and two balanced armatures in the IEM. What's special about this IEM is the cohesiveness in the packaging and the overall design, which starts with the box. So we've got these lovely aqua colors here, and then you've got the IEMs, which have this lovely sort of green aqua colored faceplates with a nice pretty design on there. And you can see there, they're really quite pretty, but they are fucking huge. Look at the size of them. I don't understand why they're so big, because there's only three drivers inside, that one dynamic and two balanced armatures. So why does the acoustic chamber need to be so huge? So that's not great, but I'll tell you what's great. The matching color case, which is really nice. It's just an ordinary case, but it's lovely. You get a cleaning cloth as well. But the pièce de résistance, in my opinion, is this beautiful cable. Now, I've seen a lot of IEM cables, and this is honestly possibly the beautifulest one, the most beautiful one I've ever seen, in terms of color anyway. Like, it's absolutely stunning. It's got this dark teal color, and I absolutely love it. Now, you might be looking at that and thinking, what the heck is that? Well, that's because it's a modular cable, and it comes with two terminations, a 3.5 and a 4.4 millimeter balanced one. And you just spin it around until you find the little notch, and it clicks in like that. So that is a beautiful cable, honestly. It's OCC copper, and you can feel the quality of it when it's in your hand, and when you're using it, it handles beautifully. It just looks stunning. One of my favorite IEM cables ever, I think. Now, on top of those things, you also get a great selection of ear tips, including these ones and these ones. So fantastic. I tell you, when I was unboxing this IEM, I was getting super excited, because what a bundle, what a package that's just so well thought out, all cohesive, all matching, just absolutely beautiful. And anyway, let's get back to these IEM. So yes, I said they are huge. What do we have for comparison here? Let's look at the Moondrop Cadence, just in terms of the size difference. I would call that a fairly significant difference. Yes, they are huge. So, how do they work in terms of comfort? Not great. Like, they're not super uncomfortable once they're in and you don't touch them, but they're just so wide. They're huge if you do touch them. And you got to find the right ear tips too. I preferred wide bore, low profile donut tips, because they're the ones that allowed me the greatest depth in my ears. You know, so whether big shells are a problem for you or not, it's going to depend on your ears. But let's get into the sound and talk about how these things sound now. So first of all, these are very efficient IEMs. The impedance is only 10 ohms, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, 10 ohms with a sensitivity of 107 dB. So that is a very efficient IEM. You don't need anything powerful, but I would definitely suggest something with a low output impedance. That becomes pretty important when you're talking about a very low impedance IEM with balanced armatures like this one. Now, the marketing says that Siren is tuned based off the Harman IE 2019 target. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't look a whole lot like that target anymore. Let's have a look at that graph, and boom, yeah, it doesn't look very Harmonish to me. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, although in this case it might be. If you're familiar with graphs, you're probably looking at that large mountainous region on the right side of the graph and thinking, uh-oh. And yeah, it is a little bit like that. So we've got a fairly modest amount of bass there. We've got pretty forward mid-range, and then we've got a super forward upper mid-range and presence region, and then a treble that kind of drops off a cliff from 8 kilohertz onwards. And look, the resulting sound signature is one that on some tracks can sound really pleasing and really good, and on others it sounds a little bit bordering on dreadful. It's not all bad though. Let's talk about the bass. The bass is a good blend of impact, speed, and control. It doesn't come near bass head levels at all, so if you are a bass head, you will need to look elsewhere. Instead, this sort of goes for technical performance with a little dash of engagement thrown in. The sub-bass extension is quite good, and the Siren can deliver some pretty satisfying rumble, but the mid-bass is only a fairly mild level of impact. Moving on to the mid-range, and the mids have got excellent clarity. They've got excellent presence, largely thanks to that prominent spike at 4 to 5 kilohertz there. Male vocals are articulate, but they're a little pulled back. They're a little bit recessed, while female vocals are very highlighted and vibrant. Instruments in the lower mid-range, they could use a bit more richness and saturation, as they can sound a little bit dry and not entirely natural. In contrast, the upper mids sound more forward and detailed, but that presence region can be a bit aggressive and fatiguing. And then finally, the treble. The treble is forward and energetic, at least the lower treble is, with most of that emphasis in the lower treble region, dropping off sharply, like I said, after 8 or 9 kilohertz. Some cymbals sound a bit thin. They kind of lack sheen and extension for a natural finish. The treble is nice and crisp, but treble notes feel a bit prematurely cut off, sort of, rather than smoothly extending into the upper ranges. The treble sensitive listeners will probably find this IEM too aggressive, and treble enthusiasts will appreciate the energy of the treble, but you'll probably be left wanting more in terms of treble extension. Finally, there's the soundstage, which is reasonably spacious, though slightly constrained by that limited treble extension. Detail retrieval, however, is above average. It's very good at picking up micro details that many other IEMs tend to overlook. The instrument separation and the imaging are pretty good, which provides accurate placement of vocals and instruments. Now it's time for a couple of comparisons. I just grabbed a couple of random ones that are sort of around the same price, starting with the Moondrop Cadence there, which is just a single dynamic driver IEM. The Cadence is leaner in the mid-bass. It does have similar sub-bass extension as the Siren, but it's got less quantity in that sub-bass. The lower mids on the Cadence have a slightly leaner note size, and the upper mids are more prone to nasality on the Cadence. Both IEMs sound a little bit aggressive up there in that upper mid lower treble area. The Cadence has got better treble extension, which gives it more air and openness and a bit extra stage width. Next up, we've got the Audio Hype 2. And this is a hybrid IEM. It's got 2 dynamic drivers and 2 balanced armatures. And the Hype 2 actually has a fairly similar frequency curve as the Siren, but its bass definitely feels beefier. I think that is due to the isobaric bass driver configuration it's got. So it's got 2 identical bass drivers within the same chamber working together. It's a bit hard to explain, but there's a link in my written review, or you can just search online if you want to know more about isobaric bass. But the Hype 2 has more even sort of upper mid-range, lower treble region, which results in fewer peaks and a less aggressive presence region. The Hype 2's treble has better extension, which makes it airier in the highs. It's got a bit more shimmer and more sparkle up top, and it has better stage depth compared to the Siren. So that is a quick rundown on the OpenAudio Siren IEM look, I don't know how to think about this. It's close to being something rather special. I just love the fact that they've taken the time and effort to have matching cable, the matching color case. Someone's obviously thought it out rather well and wanted to make an impression. But why are the shells so damn huge? Like, really? Why? And on top of that, I'm happy when IEMs don't blindly follow the latest trending frequency response, which is now meta, I suppose. But you can't stray too far from those said frequencies. In this case, just that peak in the treble region, it throws things off a little bit. It's close to being pretty great in sound. It does sound okay, and on some tracks, some recordings, it does really sound quite good and enjoyable. But overall, for the price of $249, although I love this car, I could use this cable with other IMs, and I might because I just like it so much. But I think it's a bit of an ask at that price. But if you do like a brighter sound signature and sort of really upfront presence region, you might want to give these a go because they are certainly very beautiful. And having said that, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, PAR Family Audiophile style. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'll see you later.